phrases that will ignite your entrepreneurial spirit. What do the world's most successful entrepreneurs have in common? Mindset. In this video, we'll discover the quotes that have driven great leaders to the top. Words that will make you question your limits and encourage you to take the next step. The luxury of being better than others must be paid for. Society demands a tribute that must be paid in strips of skin. True character always appears in great circumstances. You get to know the bottom of the valley much better when you are at the top of the mountains. There are men who fight for one day and are good. There are others who fight for 1 year and are better. There are those who fight for many years and are very good. But there are those who fight for a lifetime. Those are the essential ones. The greatness of a person can be manifested in great moments, but it is formed in everyday moments. Lord, do not continue to produce giants. Elevate the race. Like a river, man is change and permanence. What men have in common is what makes them most different. The character must not only be kept clean, but bright. A great man is he who makes every man feel small. But really, the only great man is he who makes every man feel great. The price of greatness is responsibility. The higher we are, the more we must descend to our inferiors. The more honest a man is, the more difficult it is for him to suspect that others are not. Everyone has their own character, even if they don't exercise it. They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same. Greatness and love, like perfumes, are hardly noticed by those who wear them. The better the man is, the more mistakes he will make, because he will try to do more new things. The sun accepts passing through small windows. They may beat me, break my bones, kill me, they will have my corpse, but not my obedience. Only those men who have left lights burning in their wake that never go out are worthy of immortality. Only those people who have had an impact in this life leave traces. When you are strong, you have to be good. Dangerous are those great men whom one cannot laugh at. There is a certain honesty, a certain sincerity, which belongs to the undisguisable genre. It is easy to be good. The difficult thing is to be fair. Character is a strong will directed by a tender conscience. I don't know if it's a personal opinion, but nothing seems big to me if it makes me feel small. The closer one gets to great men, the more one realizes that they are men. The glory of great men must always be measured by the means they have employed to acquire it. A man should not be judged by his qualities, but by the use he makes of them. In every man there is a little of all men. The most fascinating surface on earth is the human face. In character, in behavior, in style, in all things, the supreme excellence is simplicity. Keep company with good people and you will seem so. Everything truly great belongs to all of humanity. Men, like mountains, are only united at their lowest points. Their summits rise alone to infinity. In general, one must straighten up to be great. One must only stay as one is to be small. Trees with deep roots always grow the highest. Men are more capable of great deeds than of good deeds. The good man is the hero of everyday events. True greatness does not require the humiliation of others. The higher a man rises, the smaller he appears to those who cannot fly. I tell you, you must carry chaos within yourself to be able to put a star in the world. When you see a giant, first examine the position of the sun, otherwise it may be the shadow of a pygmy. The greatness of a man lies in knowing how to recognize his own smallness. Man is mortal because of his fears and immortal because of his desires. Do not recognize as superior anyone but a man better than you. The human body is the carriage, the self, the man who drives it. Thought is the reins, and feelings, the horses. It is not necessary for goodness to be manifested, but rather to be seen. The strongest and best constituted soul is the one that is not proud or enervated by successes and is not defeated by setbacks. Being a man is growing inward. Each one is solely responsible for everyone. From naive simplicity we arrive at a deeper simplicity. All strong souls belong to the same family. All other things must. Man is the being who wants. Before we go on, if you're keen on turning your finances around and securing the financial freedom you've always wanted, be sure to check out the link below. It is in the small details and when he is off guard that a man best reveals his character. Much of goodness consists in wanting to be good. The reward of a good deed is having done it. Do not fear greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, some are thrust upon greatness, and some are too great for greatness. The way the world goes, to be honest, is to be chosen out of 10,000. When someone gets kicked from behind, it's because they're in front. Greatness, willingness to take risks by exposing one's own smallness. From sudden, high flights, abysses are often close by. I have studied the lives of great and famous men and women, and I have found that those who rose to prominence were those who undertook whatever work they were called upon to do with the vigor, energy, and enthusiasm of which they were capable. Meeting great people in real life makes you think that you too can become great. The warm smile is the universal language of kindness. The man who is certain to advance is the one who is too big for his place. The worst men give the best advice. The worst thing bad guys do is force us to doubt good guys. From the sublime to the ridiculous, there is only one step. Ambition never stops, not even at the peak of greatness. The most dangerous of all weaknesses is the fear of appearing weak. In the matter of ungrateful men and women, we come out so many to so many. Each one is as God made him, and often even worse. In great things, men show themselves as it suits them. In small things, they show themselves as they are. Man spends half his life doing things he doesn't know how to do, and the other half complaining about what others do. Beware of the man who desires nothing. The worst thing about inferiority complexes is that the wrong people have them. The world is not in danger from bad people, but from those who allow evil. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. In the end, the only thing that is ridiculous is the fear of appearing ridiculous. Bad people can be trusted, they never change. He was the kind of person who spends his life doing things he hates to get money he doesn't need and buy things he doesn't want to impress people he hates. We don't always do what we want. Fortunately, to err is human, but to blame someone else is more human. At sowing time, some are missing that appear at harvest time. Men are like bombs. When you least expect it, they explode. Ambition is like a torrent. It never looks back. Nobody suddenly becomes evil. Some people use their intelligence to simplify, and others to complicate. Do not wish to be elevated before you are great. The slave has only one owner, the ambitious one, as many as there are people who can be useful to his fortune. The symbol of ingratitude is not the snake, but man. We would often be ashamed of our most beautiful actions if the world saw the motives that produce them. Circumstances do not form men, they show them. Adapt yourself to the world, because your head is too small for the whole world to adapt to it. Every man has his moral backside which he cannot show without blushing. The wounds that are not seen are the deepest. There are two kinds of people in the world: those who walk into a room and say, "Are you here?" and those who say, "Here I am." Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. There are two types of people on earth: those who rise and those who bow. All human organs get tired sometimes, except the tongue. He who speaks whatever he pleases hears whatever he does not like. There is nothing more difficult, when you look at it closely, than to know a fool if he is silent. The wise man never says everything he thinks, but he always thinks everything he says. He who knows how to speak also knows when to do so. In the Declaration of the Rights of Man, they forgot to include the right to contradict oneself. When you don't think about what you say, that's when you say what you think. The stupid things that are done can sometimes be remedied. The stupid things that are said cannot be remedied. Silence is one of the hardest things to refute. The surest way to keep one's word is to never give it. That secrets are best kept by a dead person. The silence did not harm anyone. Words are either measured by the person who says them or by those who listen to them. The best use that can be made of the word is to remain silent. Silence is a friend that never betrays. There are two types of people we cannot have an exact idea of: those who never speak and those who never keep quiet. A synthesis is worth 10 analyses. Blessed is the man who, having nothing to say, refrains from showing it to us with his words. When a man opens his mouth, he judges himself. If we only spoke when necessary, we would rarely open our lips. No one keeps a secret better than the one who doesn't know it. The tongue is the deadliest of blunt instruments. 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. The wise man, even when silent, says more than the fool when he speaks. There is a tendency to put words where ideas are lacking. The world would be a better place if people opened their eyes more and closed their mouths more. It must be spoken as in a will, that the fewer words, the fewer lawsuits. Quintessences work more than farragos. If men were to speak only of what they understand, they would hardly speak at all. If one does not have an open mind, one must also shut one's mouth. There are people who talk and talk until they find something to say. It takes 2 years to learn to speak and 60 to learn to be silent. He who remains silent does not testify against himself. Before using a beautiful word, make room for it. Searching for words, thoughts are found. No one speaks correctly but he who willingly remains silent. There are people who speak for a moment before thinking what they are going to say. True eloquence consists in not saying more than is necessary. Little is said when vanity takes no part in the conversation. The bad thing about speaking too quickly is that you might say things you haven't thought of yet. There are some men who do not say what they think and others who think too much about what they say. A man breathes better when he keeps his mouth closed. Men can be divided into 2 categories: those who speak for the sake of saying something, and those who say something for the sake of speaking. Measuring words does not necessarily mean sweetening their expression, but rather having foreseen and accepted their consequences. If I were a king, I would establish chairs to teach people to remain silent. Generally, those who have nothing to say spend as much time as possible saying nothing. Before you start speaking, make sure your face is clear enough to read what you are going to say. If people spoke only when they had something to say, the human race would lose the faculty of speech. Don't say more than necessary, to whomever is necessary and whenever it is necessary. The less a man thinks, the more he talks. First, a man learns to walk and talk. Later, he learns to sit still and keep his mouth shut. Many times what is kept silent makes more of an impression than what is said. He who knows how to speak also knows when to do so. To know how to speak, you need to know how to listen. Words are like leaves. When they are abundant, there is little fruit among them. It is remarkable that those who talk the most are those who have the least to say. That no one was prosecuted for silencing anyone. Let not your tongue outstrip your understanding. Some people talk too much, but without saying everything. If you argue too much to prove your wisdom, you will soon reveal your ignorance. Given the way of being of today's man, being concise is equivalent to being inspired. He who cannot remain silent does not know how to speak. If you want your secret kept, keep it yourself. Have more than you show, speak less than you know. In this world, when someone has something to say, the difficulty is not in getting him to say it, but in preventing him from repeating it too often. Many times one regrets having spoken, but never having remained silent. Man does not live by words alone, despite the fact that sometimes he has to eat them. It is better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than to open it and remove all doubt. Nature has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth to remind us that it is better to listen than to speak. Truth is a child of time, not of authority. The bad thing about those who believe they are in possession of the truth is that when they have to prove it, they are not right at all. Truth is corrupted by both lies and silence. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, even if improbable, must be the truth. I should be required to seek the truth, but not to find it. There is no greater lie than a misunderstood truth. Your truth will increase to the extent that you know how to listen to the truth of others. It is impossible to pass through a crowd with the flame of truth without singeing someone's beard. There is only one absolute truth. That truth is relative. By practicing the truth I know, I am deserving the truth I ignore. I can promise to be honest, but don't expect me to promise to be impartial. It is not advisable to show the truth naked, but rather in a shirt. Thinking better is not finding the truth but looking for it further. It's easy to speak clearly when the whole truth is not going to be told. He who smiles more with his eyes than with his lips is sincere. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. I prefer a madness that excites me to a truth that crushes me. There is certainly no progress. Curiosity is an instinct of infinite scope. On the one hand, it makes us listen behind closed doors. On the other, it leads us to discover America. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Memory is the intelligence of fools. The only thing that is really valuable is intuition. Never keep in your head anything that fits in your pocket. If we do not clash with reason, we will never achieve anything. Memory is like a net. You find it full of fish when you pull it out of the stream, but hundreds of miles of water have passed through it without leaving a trace. Man is more reasoning than reasonable. A conclusion is the place where you got tired of thinking. One thing above all makes human thought suggestive: restlessness. Bad is the opinion that cannot be changed. Who will free our spirit from the heavy chains of logic? It won't be the first time that I've been more right than I initially thought. Fall in love with ideas as much as you like, but be cautious in marrying them. Common sense is very rare. He who does not want to reason is a fanatic. He who does not know how to reason is a fool, and he who does not dare to reason is a slave. Reason is intelligence in exercise. Imagination, intelligence in erection. Doubt is a beneficent demon. Intuition is reason when you are in a hurry. If we were to rely on common sense, the earth would still be flat. It's easier to deny things than to find out about them. Ideas, like fleas, jump from one man to another, but they don't bite everyone. Where everyone thinks alike, no one thinks much. It is less bad to be agitated by doubt than to rest in error. In proving the fans wrong, one must not forget that they want to be wrong. When cars think, Rolls-Royces will be more distressed than taxis. Ideas should be received as guests, that is, cordially, but on condition that they do not tyrannize the host. We test through logic, but we discover through intuition. He who doubts nothing ignores everything. Thinking is not enough. You have to think about something. Many people take care of their reputation and do not take care of their conscience. Prudence is assuming that no one is completely right and no one is completely wrong. Ideas are like rabbits. You get a couple, learn to take care of them, and soon you have a dozen. The earth is the cradle of reason, but one cannot always live in the cradle. There are people so full of common sense that they do not have the slightest corner left for their own sense. Getting entangled in what is unknown by means of what is known. Man is like a match. If he has no head, what is he good for? Whatever one person can imagine, others can make a reality. The only man who can change his mind is the one who has won. It's not bad to have strong opinions. What's bad is not having more than that. You can't paint the Mona Lisa by assigning a little paint to 1,000 painters. To do with ease what is difficult for others. This is ingenuity. To do what is impossible for people of ingenuity. This is genius. Always be curious. Knowledge will never acquire you. It is you who must acquire it. A wise man will seek out more opportunities than those that come his way. Genius appears whenever someone realizes something obvious for the first time. A genius is a factory, and a scholar, a warehouse. It's easier to be cool than to have common sense. The wisest is he who does not even remotely believe himself to be wise. Sufficiency does not exclude talent, but it compromises it. Genius creates, talent reproduces. Genius is not a plant that grows only in academic centers. It is a wildflower that grows in the forest by itself, without requiring outside help. Intelligent people don't make all their own mistakes. They give others the opportunity to make them too. All men make mistakes, but only the wise learn from them. Mediocrity knows nothing superior to it, but talent instantly recognizes genius. True knowledge is, when you know, knowing that you know, and when you do not know, knowing that you do not know. Talent is what one possesses. Genius is what possesses one. I would give everything I know for half of what I don't know. Divide the difficulties you examine into as many parts as possible for their best solution. Ingenuity is like a parachute. To use it, you have to open it. Before, we talked about problems. Now we talk about which problems need to be talked about. The mind is like a parachute. It only works if we keep it open. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses avoid them. We are all geniuses. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it is stupid. The destiny of genius is to be misunderstood, But not every misunderstood person is a genius. Culture is one thing, varnish is another. The best thing for a wise man is not to seem so. The wise man is not the one who knows many things, but the one who knows useful things. I hate the wise man who is not wise to himself. There are no cultured men. There are men who are cultivated. To digest wisdom, it is necessary to have devoured it with appetite. How many apples fell on Newton's head before he got the hint? Nature is always giving us clues. It gives us clues all the time. And then suddenly we catch them. Talent is deeply unfair. It cannot be transmitted. An intelligent man, walking on foot, arrives sooner than a fool who goes by car. Ready to boss your finances? Check out the link below. Even the greatest genius would not get very far if he had to draw everything from within himself. Geniuses are those who say long before what will be said long after. Everything will be forgiven you, except that you are a genius. Science is a magnificent piece of furniture for the second floor, if common sense is placed on the ground floor. When you don't reach genius, you should be clear. Talent is a magistracy, genius, a priesthood. Risking looking like a fool is the first step toward wisdom. The secret of genius is to retain the spirit of a child into old age, which means never losing enthusiasm. In the republic of mediocrity, genius is dangerous. Questions reveal the breadth of wit, and answers reveal their sharpness. Everyone wants to know, but no one wants to pay the price. I don't believe any wise man until I've heard him say, "I have doubts" 3 times and "I don't know" twice. The main sign of genius is not perfection, but originality, the opening of new frontiers. The desire to appear clever often prevents one from actually being clever. Wise is not the one who gives the right answers. It is the one who asks the right questions. It was only later in my life that I realized how difficult it is to say, "I don't know." The question is who is the better wise man, not who is wiser. Sanity and genius are lovers, but they have never been able to marry. If I have seen further, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants. Cultured men are the repositories of knowledge, not the springs. Genius is a personality with 2 cents of talent. The talented man is the one who knows everything by instinct. What men want, in fact, is not knowledge, but certainty. There is the same difference between a thinker and a scholar as there is between a book and an index. The genie's lamp has less oil than the lamp of life. Like the eagle, the truly superior intelligences soar high above, alone. The only freedom is wisdom. Knowing more than others is easy. The difficult thing is knowing something better than others. The problem with intelligence is that one is forced to be constantly learning. Cultured is he who knows where to find what he does not know. The larger the island of knowledge, the longer the coastline of wonder and curiosity. The only interesting answers are those that destroy the questions. There is one sure sign of a genius. All the idiots block his path. The broader an intelligence is, the more it suffers from its limitations. The advantage of being intelligent is that it is easier to pass for a fool. The opposite is much more difficult. Neither ignorance is a lack of talent, nor wisdom is proof of genius. This man must be very ignorant, since he answers everything he is asked. The man who says what we would have said if we had thought of it before is ingenious. There is something God did wrong. He put limits on everything except nonsense. Nothing is more dangerous than an idea when you only have one. He who has few ideas is easily overwhelmed by one. First of all, let's get rid of Socrates, because I'm fed up with this invention that knowing nothing is a sign of wisdom. When stupid things are done, they should at least produce results. A fool is boring, very boring, but a pedant is unbearable. There are well-dressed fools just as there are well-dressed fools. Don't laugh at other people's stupidity. It may represent an opportunity for you. The intelligence of the planet is constant, and the population continues to increase. When nature exceeds culture, we have the rustic. When culture exceeds nature, we have the pedant. Every now and then, a fool by chance has to be right. There are people who, if they suddenly become stupid, no one notices. There are men who only have one idea, and it is wrong. I prefer evil men to fools. At least the former leaves some breathing room. There are only two infinite things, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the first. Only those who know little want to show everywhere what they know. If 50 million people think something stupid, it's still stupid. There is nothing more terrifying than active ignorance. Foolishness always places itself in the front row, to be seen. Intelligence, behind, to see. Even the fool has intelligent thoughts, but he doesn't realize it. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. All the brains in the world are powerless against any stupidity that is in fashion. The surest way to hide the limits of one's knowledge from others is not to overstep them. It is not strictly necessary to be a fool to do his job. A pedant is a man educated beyond the possibilities of his intelligence. No one is free from saying stupid things. The serious thing is saying them with emphasis. There is a type of ignorant people, a product of the times, who defend their ignorance with reasoning. They are systematically ignorant. A man may well be forgiven for being foolish for an hour, when there are so many who remain foolish all their lives. Everyone who looks stupid is stupid, and so are half of those who don't look stupid. My father, a valuable man, used to tell me, never lose your ignorance. You cannot replace it. Everyone is ignorant, just in different matters. The worst of all is that fools are always sure and clever people do nothing but doubt. Knowing how to be ignorant in one's time is the greatest prudence. No one should make the same mistake twice. The choice is wide enough. I am patient with stupid people, but not with those who are proud of it. He knows everything, absolutely everything. Imagine how stupid he must be. A pedant is a fool adulterated by study. People learn to hide their ignorance, just as they smile to hide their tears. The heart is a very, very elastic muscle. It is a great delusion to believe that the average man is susceptible only to average passions. The worst disease of the soul is the cold. No matter how far the spirit goes, it will never go further than the heart. Life's greatest battles are fought every day in the silent chambers of our own hearts. It's amazing what a man can do when his blood is stirred. It is a law of our nature that great thoughts come from the heart. In most men, calm is lethargy, and excitement is fury. Reason can warn us what to avoid, but only the heart tells us what to do. The heart has its prisons that intelligence does not open. Ideas move the world, but not before they are transformed into feelings. The passionate are the firstborn of the world. Passion is a cosmic force, like gravity. The heart has reasons that reason ignores. You have to listen to reason, but let feeling speak. Intelligence searches, but it is the heart that finds. Heart wounds were never cured with ear plasters. What the heart knows today, the brain will understand tomorrow. When the heart anticipates judgment, it saves judgment a lot of work. Feel the thought, think the feeling. The optimist proclaims that we live in the best of all possible worlds, and the pessimist fears that this is true. Mankind does not produce optimists until it has stopped producing happy men. The pessimist sees a difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees an opportunity in every difficulty. An optimist expects his dreams to come true. A pessimist expects his nightmares to come true. I am optimistic about the future of pessimism. An optimist can see a light where there is none, but why does the pessimist always have to rush to extinguish it? He who keeps repeating that things will go wrong has a good chance of becoming a prophet. If, in the end, his optimism turned out to be unjustified, at least he would have lived in a good mood. Pessimist. One who, when faced with a choice between two evils, chooses both. I am not an optimist. I want to be an optimist. Believe in your star. That's the way, if you don't have one already, to light one. Justify your limitations and you will stick with them. I'm not trying to dance better than anyone else. I'm just trying to dance better than myself. Hold yourself accountable to a higher standard than anyone expects of you. The hardest battle I have every day is with myself. When a man's struggle begins within himself, that man is worth something. He who does not know how to govern himself, how will he know how to govern others? Whoever transforms himself, transforms the world. Being superior to others has never been a great effort if it is not accompanied by the noble desire to be superior to oneself. We could change our entire lives and the attitude of the people around us if we simply changed ourselves. Don't let the plans you have for yourself be more important than yourself. I will never use myself as an obstacle. No one can change, but everyone can improve. Reveal to me what you love, what you seek, and what you aspire to with all your desire when you hope to find true enjoyment of yourself, and you will have shown me the meaning of your life. Everyone would find their own life much more interesting if they stopped comparing it to everyone else's. Don't try to be anything other than what you are, and try to be it perfectly. The greatest wisdom that exists is to know yourself. Be the change the world wants to see. It is a big mistake to believe yourself to be more than you are or less than you are worth. No one can be a slave to their identity. When a possibility of change arises, you have to change. There are candles that light everything except their own candlestick. To overcome a danger or to save any abyss, I affirm from experience that the confidence that a man has in himself is more useful than the saber or the lance. The life of every man is a path towards himself, the attempt at a path, the outline of a trail. There is at least one corner of the universe that you can definitely improve, and that is yourself. If you doubt yourself, you are defeated in advance. Nobody ever became great by imitating. Those who never change their minds love themselves more than the truth. If you do something like you did 10 years ago, then there's a good chance you'll do it wrong. It is difficult to make a man miserable as long as he feels he is worthy of himself. Put your uniqueness on display for the market. These are my weak points. Now I have to find something to use them for. With defects, there is no rush. Don't go about correcting them lightly. What would you put in their place? True freedom consists in absolute mastery of oneself. I want to forge my soul more than furnish it. In a higher world it may be otherwise. But here below, to live is to change, and to be perfect is to have changed many times. The higher I climbed, the more I was followed by a dog called ego. The more one abandons himself, the less others will abandon him. One should not be a coward in the face of one's own actions. One should not dismiss them after the fact. Remorse is indecent. Let no one else be the master of himself. I do not evolve, I am. Become what you are. The first and best victory is the conquest of oneself. Don't stop sculpting your own statue. Command your spirit. We are either as we are or we are nothing at all. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Suddenly you will realize that the reason you never changed before was because you didn't want to. Each person is as God has made him, but he becomes as he makes himself. Self-esteem is not as vile as self-depreciation. We know what we are, but we do not know what we can be. Too many people spend more time focusing on their weaknesses than developing their strengths. By focusing on what they don't have, they forget the talents they do have. We have been called to the concert of this world to play our instrument in the best possible way. What a man thinks of himself determines, or rather indicates, his destiny. A competitive world offers you two options: to lose, or, if you want to succeed, to change. Everyone thinks about changing the world, but no one thinks about changing themselves. It often happens that we are valued by what we value ourselves. Well-understood selfishness is well-applied philanthropy. Always independent, never isolated. Anyone can lead a bitter life, but making your life bitter on purpose is an art that can be learned. Loving yourself is the beginning of a lifelong adventure. Be yourself. The other positions are taken. Vanity should be left to those who have nothing else to show. We would make a great deal of money buying the man for what he is worth and selling him for what he thinks he is worth. A throne is just a wooden stool covered in silk. I'd rather people ask why there isn't a statue of me than why there is one. I don't want anyone admiring my pants in a museum. Much more than interests, it is pride that divides us. My pride is feigned, but my modesty is pretended. Pride is a wild beast that lives in a cave and wanders through the desert. Vanity, on the other hand, is a parrot that jumps from branch to branch and chatters in full view of everyone. Before we go on, if you're keen on turning your finances around and securing the financial freedom you've always wanted, be sure to check out the link below. You have no idea how low my opinion of myself is, or how little I deserve it. I forgot they were talking about me. It sounded so wonderfully convincing. I feel sorry for those who feel naked if they don't wear a medal hanging on their chest. Man can get drunk on himself, but he cannot feed himself. Don't be so humble, you're not that great. Don't talk so much about yourself, it will happen when you leave. On the highest throne in the world, we are still sitting on our asses. Humility is like underwear, indispensable, but indecorous when it is visible. At the summit my pride said, "Few have reached this point." At this point an insect flew over me. Nothing is so low and vile as being haughty with the humble. Flattery doesn't hurt, as long as you don't inhale it. No person whose name is worth remembering lived an easy life. You will be doubly unhappy if you do not know how to cope with your misfortune. Misfortune is the midwife of genius. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Only when the tide goes out do you know who was swimming naked. The worst of all evils is to believe that evils have no remedy. Cry, yes, but cry while standing, working. It is better to sow a new crop than to cry for the one that was lost. Be happy. It's the only way to be wise. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is enjoying what you get. Don't waste fresh tears on old sorrows. When everything seems to be against you, remember that in order to lift off, airplanes need to go against the wind, not with it. Things that hurt teach. The secret of happiness is to always love what we have the obligation to do. What matters about a wound is the scar. Misfortune opens the soul to a light that prosperity does not see. When the water reaches your neck, don't worry if it's not drinkable. Happiness is not experienced, it is remembered. Almost everyone is as happy as they make up their mind to be. When someone says that he knows what happiness is, it can be assumed that he has lost it. One suffers less from the pain itself than from the way in which it is accepted. I will embrace happiness because it enlarges my heart, but I will also endure sadness because it reveals my soul. Nothing happens to anyone that he is unable to bear. The secret of my happiness is to treat catastrophes as inconveniences and not inconveniences as catastrophes. It is not good to be unhappy, but it is good to have been so. No one ever has a bad time for long through no fault of their own. We don't know what's happening to us, and that's what's happening to us. Happiness is something that depends not on position, but on disposition. The blows of adversity are very bitter, but never sterile. The kind of happiness I need is less doing what I want than not doing what I don't want. Happiness is not a station you reach, but a way of traveling. The sensible man only thinks about his troubles when it leads to something practical. Every other moment he devotes to other things. Man discovers himself when he measures himself against an obstacle. He who is drowning does not notice what he is holding on to. Happiness is not doing what you want but wanting what you do. When you are in the midst of adversity, it is too late to be cautious. Unhappy is he who considers himself such. In times of misfortune, it is best to take a bold path. It is in the storm that you find a good pilot. He who grieves before his time, grieves more than necessary. When misfortune comes, it never comes alone, but in droves. In calm seas, we are all good pilots. It is by being more miserable that we sometimes learn to be less miserable. Remember that the secret of happiness is freedom, and the secret of freedom is courage. Happiness is waiting for us somewhere, unless we go looking for it. All evil comes with wings and limps away. If you want your dreams to come true, wake up. Many of us don't live our dreams because we live our fears. There are no architectural rules for castles in the air. Poor is not the man whose dreams have not come true, but the one who does not dream. The ultimate wisdom was to have dreams big enough so that you wouldn't lose sight of them while pursuing them. I love those who dream impossible dreams. A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must launch himself. Dreams are not made of indifference, laziness, or lack of ambition. The only difference between a dream and a goal is a date. Man is a god when he dreams and a beggar when he thinks. All men of action have been and are also dreamers. Never let your memories be better than your dreams. I believe that if you don't dream for a while every day, the star that could shine in every task and in every day of your life will be eclipsed. Nothing belongs to you except your dreams. A dream doesn't come true through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Choose. Either you change your dreams or you increase your skills. If you've been building castles in the air, you've not wasted your time. That's where they belong. Now, lay a foundation for them. The true dreamer is the one who dreams the impossible. The isolated man feels weak, and he is. Man is not man except because he has known how to unite himself with man. Only the impact of the other on me makes me who I think I am in myself. We would never have heard of many of our ideas if we had not had long conversations with each other. We must unite not to be together, but to do something together. In order to be an impeccable member of a flock, one must first be a sheep. I am A and you are B, but we are both in the alphabet. It is good to remember that the entire population of the universe, with one insignificant exception, is made up of others. Whenever two people meet, there are 6 present. Each person is there as he or she sees himself or herself, as the other person sees him or her, and as he or she really is. Every man is sociable, but he always ends up arguing with his partners. Solitude is necessary for the imagination, just as company is healthy for the character. Help me understand what I'm saying and I'll explain it better. What is not useful for the hive is not useful for the bee either. Man is a social being whose intelligence requires the murmur of the hive to excite him. It often happens that one finds an idea that one is looking for, manages to give it form, that is, to obtain it, taking it out of the nebula of dark perceptions that it represents, thanks to the efforts one makes to present it to others. In things that are purely social, we can be as different and separate as the fingers, but we must be one as the hand in all things essential for mutual progress. It is easier to deceive than to disillusion. We fight more for our interests than for our rights. Be careful that no one hates you with reason. The best way to attract people is to ask them for favors. If you want to make peace, don't talk to your friends, talk to your enemies. The best thing we can do for another is not only to share our riches with him, but to show him his own. All the men I meet are superior to me in some way. In that sense, I learn from them. Please everyone and you will please no one. Some people are kind only because they don't dare to be otherwise. It was one of those smiles endowed with the power to reassure, which one finds, if one is lucky, for 5 times in a lifetime. True praise is not what is offered to us, but what we extract. Your opinion of others can easily be others' opinion of you. If 2 individuals always agree on everything, I can assure you that one of them thinks for both of them. The most ridiculous of all pretensions is wanting to please everyone. He who trusts anyone shows little discretion and good sense. He who trusts no one shows even less. Listen to the advice of those who know a lot. But above all, listen to the advice of those who love you very much. The judgments we make about others say what we are about ourselves. The surest way to make our lives more pleasant is to make them pleasant for others. Every new friend is a piece of ourselves reconquered. No one should touch a wound if they do not have anything to heal it with. No one can see and understand in others what he himself has not experienced. If we can make someone happier and more cheerful, we should do it in any case. The true measure of our worth is made up of all the benefits others have derived from our success. Try to be as flatterers paint you. Let us teach how to forgive, but let us also teach how not to offend. It would be more efficient. In every admiration there is a silent resentment. The most common cause of shyness is an excessive opinion of our own importance. I have always been inclined to think well of everyone. It saves a lot of trouble. There are 2 ways to get far. through one's own ability or through the stupidity of others. The easiest way to be fooled is to believe yourself smarter than others. There are people who are unpleasant despite their merits, and others who are pleasant despite their defects. You can be smarter than someone else, but not smarter than everyone else. I am not trying to convince my adversary that he is wrong, but to join him in a higher truth. Just because you've silenced a person doesn't mean you've convinced them. If you can heal, heal. If you cannot heal, calm. And if you cannot calm, comfort. Don't give me advice. I know how to make mistakes myself. There are reproaches that are praise. Tell me who admires you and I'll tell you who you are. When everyone is crazy, being sane is crazy. It is more difficult to make admiration last than to provoke it. It is humiliating for a person of wit to know that there is no fool who cannot teach him something. He who asks timidly invites denial. Every friend I gain is not that an enemy I kill. Do not do to others what you want for yourself. Others may have different tastes. To be successful, you have to have friends, but to be very successful, you have to have enemies. He who is feared by many will fear many. Callan, that is enough praise. Don't always assume that the other guy has the same intelligence as you. He may have more. Successful people are always looking for opportunities to help others. Unsuccessful people are the ones who ask, "What about me?" He who distrusts invites others to betray him. Freedom is the only thing you can't have unless you give it to others. I always pass on the good advice I'm given. That's the only thing it's good for. I always advise people to never give advice. One gift, knowing people by instinct. You can have everything you want in life if you help others enough to have everything they want. Consult the eye of your enemy, because he is the first to see your defects. The enemy only begins to be fearsome when he begins to be right. There are many people who do not know how to waste their time alone. It is the scourge of busy people. There are thieves who are not punished, but they steal from us the most precious thing, time. We must not fear those who have a different opinion, but those who have a different opinion but are too cowardly to express it. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Of all the dangers, the greatest is underestimating the enemy. From the moment the day dawns, one may think, "Today I will meet an indiscreet, ungrateful, insolent, envious, and selfish person." Flatterers have the appearance of friends, as wolves have the appearance of dogs. Imagination consoles men for what they cannot be. Humor consoles them for what they are. Every improvement in communication systems makes the bore more terrible. Anyone who surrenders immediately must be feared as an ambush. The prudent man does not seek revenge on his enemies. He leaves this task to life. I only respect those who stand up to me, but I can't stand them. Sworn enemies are not the most dangerous. Most men do not listen to themselves when they speak. Repeat their words back to them when they have just spoken them, and they will not recognize them. He who is not envied is not admired. The imbeciles, that is, those who do not think like us. One can defend oneself against attacks. Against praise one is defenseless. There are those who believe they are contradicting us when they simply repeat their opinion without taking into account ours. Dangerous is the man who has nothing left to lose. There are no necessary men. There are only useful men. There are no useless people. There are only harmful people. Don't criticize your enemies, they might learn. The worst enemies are those from which man does not think to defend himself. The offender never forgives. No one is as irritating as a person with less intelligence and more common sense than us. Thus we find three main motives of discord in human nature. First, competition. Second, distrust. Third, glory. No one would listen if they weren't waiting their turn to speak. Ready to boss your finances? Check out the link below. Friends come and go, but enemies accumulate. It's hard to fight an enemy that has outposts in your head. Never create enemies, but above all, never create timid enemies. People who don't make noise are dangerous. Distrust the man who finds everything good, the man who finds everything bad, and even more so the man who is indifferent to everything. The only polite way to accept an insult is to ignore it. If you can't ignore it, overlook it. If you can't overlook it, laugh at it. If you can't laugh at it, you probably deserve it. All favors done are paid for. Beware of the man who asks for one pardon. He may easily fall into the temptation of deserving two. The worst thing about a bore is not that he doesn't want to stop talking, but that he doesn't want you to stop listening. Over time I learned that it is a mistake to smile at someone who has deceived us. Flatterers are like thieves. Their first concern is to turn off the light. Season your admiration for some time. Be very careful with the man who doesn't slap you back. The worst enemies are those who always approve. Distrust the man who tells you to distrust. Everyone wants to ride with you in the limo, but the important thing is to have someone willing to ride the bus with you when the limo breaks down. One murmurer is more important than 100 preachers. It is better to receive slander more calmly than stones. Slander, something will always remain. He who knows how to flatter also knows how to slander. The evil of slander is like an oil stain. It always leaves traces. It is very easy to gain fame, but it is very difficult to deserve it. Slander always has more historians than truth. Celebrity is the advantage of being known by everyone who doesn't know you. Nothing in life is as exciting as being shot at and missing. There is nothing as swift as slander. Nothing is easier to launch, easier to accept, or quicker to spread. The worst thing that can happen to a famous man is that nobody knows he is famous. You can't be famous without others knowing about it. Never believe anything until it has been officially denied. I don't care what people say about me, as long as they say something about me, and as long as they spell my name right. He who speaks to you about the defects of others will speak to others about yours. The most dangerous bites are those of the slanderer among wild animals and those of the flatterer among domesticated animals. One is as exposed to criticism as to the flu. In society, not everything is known, but everything is said. I'm only interested in other people's opinions when they resolve something, when they are affirmative. I have enough problems with my own. A rumor is like a check. You shouldn't accept it until you can prove that it has funds. A sign of having worn out one's own fame is caring about the infamy of others. If those who speak ill of me knew exactly what I think of them, they would speak even worse. If you speak badly, worse things will be said about you. To escape criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. Popularity? Glory in small change. If the wise man does not approve, bad. If the fool applauds, worse. If a man is the subject of much conversation, he will soon become the subject of much criticism. The good thing about being a celebrity is that when people get bored with you, they think it's their fault. The glory of the most famous is always accompanied by some of the short-sightedness of their admirers. If someone criticizes us and we are not offended, the critic becomes disoriented. Why should I care about posterity? What has posterity done for me? What matters is what we say, not what others will say. Slander is a disease of others that manifests itself in our body. Nobody gossips about the secret virtues of others. With the stones that were thrown at them, they knew how to build a house. They talk. What are they talking about? Let them talk. A gossip is like a wasp. If you can't kill it with the first blow, you better not mess with it. Good reputation is a second asset. Those who get angry at criticism recognize that they deserved it. Your friend has a friend, and your friend's friend has another friend. Therefore, be discreet. The best way to get people to talk good about you is to do it well. It is absolutely monstrous the way people go around these days criticizing you behind your back for things that are absolutely and completely true. There is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about by others, and that is not being talked about by anyone. Gossiping is when you hear something you like about someone you don't like. I always try to be punctual, because I have observed that a person's defects are very vividly reflected in the memory of the person who is waiting for him. A good conversationalist is not one who remembers what was said, but one who says what someone wants to remember. Career formula: the right phrase at the right time. Good conversation does not consist in saying clever things, but in knowing how to listen to nonsense. You can go a lot further with a kind word and a gun than with a kind word alone. The talent of conversation consists in not showing off one's own talent, but in making the talent of others shine. Don't wait for your turn to speak. Really listen and you will be different. A good conversation should exhaust the topic, not the interlocutors. In society, a certain degree of stupidity contributes to a certain kind of brilliance. We wouldn't talk so much in society if we realized how little attention we pay to others when they speak. Tact is knowing how far we can go too far. It is permissible to be more skilled than others, but it is dangerous to appear so. Want some good advice for your relationship success? Help others wear their masks. When I'm among crazy people, I act crazy. Be courteous to all, sociable to many, familiar to few, friend to one, enemy to none. Remember that it is not enough to say the right thing in the right place. It is even better to think about not saying the wrong thing at a tempting moment. We must not extinguish another's light in order to make our own shine. When climbing the social ladder, it pays to be kind to those you advance over, because you will meet them again on the way down. The most pleasant conversation is one of which nothing is remembered precisely, but which leaves a pleasant overall impression. The object of any discussion should not be victory, but progress. In order to be applauded, you must begin by applauding others. Nothing prevents us from being natural as much as the desire to appear so. You can fool all the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all the time. But you can't fool all the people all the time. People ask you for criticism, but really they just want praise. The most difficult thing in discussions is not defending our point of view, but knowing what it is. I have often observed that to prosper in this world one must have the air of a fool, but without being one. Even if I could make myself fearsome, I would rather make myself lovable. The real art of conversation is not only saying the right thing in the right place, but leaving unsaid the wrong thing at the wrong time. One person seeks a midwife for his thoughts. Another seeks someone who can help him give birth to them. This is how a fruitful dialogue is born. Conversation is a fight to see who interrupts whom. Tactics is the art of making yourself asked for as a favor what you are burning with desire to offer. The truly free man is the one who can refuse an invitation to dinner without making excuses. When you converse, remember that you are more interested in what you have to say than your interlocutors. Speak softly and hold a thick staff, you will go far. Kindness is like a pillow, even if it has nothing inside, it at least cushions the blows of life. Whatever you think, I think that kind words are not out of place. The best way to combat bad arguments is to let them present themselves. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Humor is one of the best clothes you can wear in society. Everyone who participates in a discussion defends two things, a thesis and himself. If taking up the shield were enough for my defense, I should not wield the sword. Man sometimes forgives hatred, but never contempt. The secret of a good sermon is to have a good beginning and a good ending, and then tie them together as closely as possible. To make a good speech, you have to have accumulated much more material than you use. The ideal speaker is one who manages to entertain without anyone understanding what he says. To make a speech immortal, there is no need to make it eternal. Why doesn't the guy who says, "I can't make speeches," just let it be instead of trying to make a demonstration? It is a misfortune not to have enough intelligence to make a speech, nor enough self-knowledge to remain silent. Are speakers aware that 90% of the applause they receive when they finish their speech is merely an expression of relief? What the speakers lack in depth, they make up for in breadth. The value of water is evident. In the desert, it is the most precious resource. The contrast between day and night teaches you about the duality of life. Beauty can be stark. The desert is beautiful in its simplicity. The desert teaches you to move with purpose. Every step counts. Patience with the process is key. Changes in the desert are slow but sure. Life is fragile. The desert shows how unforgiving nature can be. Balance is essential. Life in the desert is based on a precarious equilibrium. Tenacity is necessary. Desert plants and animals are models of endurance. Extreme heat teaches you the importance of shade and shelter. Life can blossom in the most unexpected places. Respect for the environment is crucial to survival in the desert. The desert teaches you to live with the essentials, without excesses. The desert sun reminds you of the power of nature. The night in the desert is a reminder of the vastness of the universe. The adaptability of the desert teaches you to find creative solutions. Scarcity fosters ingenuity. The desert is a master at doing much with little. The value of community is palpable. In the desert, mutual aid is vital. Patience with nature teaches you to respect its rhythms and times. Inner strength is developed under adverse conditions. The desert is a place of transformation. The landscape changes with the wind and time. The calm of the desert invites you to slow down and live in the present moment. The desert teaches us to observe carefully. Every sign can be crucial. Self-care is vital. In the desert, carelessness can be deadly. Before we go on, if you're keen on turning your finances around and securing the financial freedom you've always wanted, be sure to check out the link below. The loneliness of the desert confronts you with your true self. Preparation is the key to facing any challenge. Respect for life deepens when you see how fragile it can be. The desert teaches you to trust your instincts to survive. Physical and mental endurance are essential to overcome the trials of the desert. The adaptability of the desert is a reminder of the human capacity to overcome adversity. The desert landscape, although arid, is full of stories to discover. The silence of the desert teaches you to listen to your inner voice. Scarcity of resources teaches you to be creative and find new solutions. The desert is a reminder that life is fragile but incredibly resilient. The immensity of the desert makes you feel humble in the face of the grandeur of nature. The desert teaches you that even in the most difficult times, there is always beauty and hope. Everything has a reason, just as mathematics seeks the reason behind each equation. In life we must also seek the causes of events. Practice makes perfect. Repetition and constant exercise are the key to mastering any skill, whether it's solving equations or achieving a goal. Logic is your guide. Before making decisions, it is important to analyze the different options in a logical and rational manner. Precision matters. Small details can make a big difference, both in math and in life. Patience is a virtue. Solving a complex math problem requires patience, as does achieving great goals in life. Aesthetic experience is an important form of knowledge and appreciation of the world. Truth is a human construct that evolves over time and circumstances. Be consistent in your efforts. Perseverance is the key to success. Respect your elders. Honor the wisdom and experience of others. Be loyal to your friends. True friendship is a treasure. Be honest in your words and actions. Integrity is essential. Cultivate virtue. Kindness and justice are admirable qualities. Control your emotions. Anger and envy cloud your judgment. Learn from your mistakes. Failure is an opportunity to grow. Be humble. Arrogance drives people away. Value education. Knowledge is power. Be grateful. Recognize the blessings in life. Treat others as you would like to be treated. The universal golden rule. Be patient. Good things take time. Be compassionate. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes will make you more human. Be responsible for your actions. Every choice has consequences. Be fair. Fairness is the foundation of a healthy society. Be brave. Face your fears and challenges. Be optimistic. A positive attitude attracts positive things. Be curious. Never stop learning. Be adaptable. Change is inevitable. Be organized. Order makes life easier. Be punctual. Respecting other people's time is important. Be generous. Giving without expecting anything in return is rewarding. Be critical of yourself. Self-reflection is essential for personal growth. Be tolerant. Respect the differences of others. Be independent. Trust in your own abilities. Be creative. Innovation is the key to progress. Be decisive. Don't be afraid to make decisions. Be flexible. Be able to change your mind. Be persistent. Don't give up in the face of obstacles. Be grateful to nature. Live in harmony with the environment. Be aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. Be kind to yourself. Self-compassion is important for mental health. Light is the force that transforms us. Darkness may try to sow fear, but light fills us with courage. victory than transforming an enmity into friendship. Enmity is often based on misunderstandings. Letting go of an enmity frees the soul. Enmity can blind us to the virtues of others. Enmity is not eternal unless we feed it. Overcoming enmity is an act of self-love. Enmity can be a vicious cycle, but you can break it. Enmity is based on fear, friendship on understanding. Enmity can be overcome with empathy. Enmity prevents us from seeing the goodness in others. Pride is the fuel of enmity. Don't let enmity define your life. Enmity creates more pain than satisfaction. To forgive an enemy is to free oneself from enmity. Enmity never brings true peace. Every feud is a battle you can choose not to fight. Enmity is not fought with more enmity. Enmity can be a wall or a bridge, it's up to you. Enmity is a weight you can drop at any time. Enmity often arises from misunderstanding. Breaking enmity requires more strength than maintaining it. Enmity is a choice, not a destiny. Enmity can be the beginning of a new understanding. Enmity is a mirror that reflects our insecurities. Enmity is not justified, it is transcended. No enmity deserves your happiness. Enmity doesn't define you, how you overcome it does. Enmity can be a test of your capacity to love. Enmity is never worth it. Enmity feeds on resentment, and resentment on lack of forgiveness. Transforming enmity into peace is the greatest personal triumph. True love knows no bounds. To love is to give without expecting anything in return. Self-love is the foundation of all love. Trust is the pillar of a solid relationship. Mutual respect is essential in love. Forgiveness heals the wounds of the heart. Communication is the bridge between two souls. Love grows with the small details. Love is not possession, it is sharing. Love is a journey, not a destination. To love is to accept the other person as they are. Jealousy is a poison that destroys love. True love forgives mistakes. Love makes us grow as people. Passion fuels love, but love is more than passion. Love teaches us to be better human beings. To love is to take care of each other. Love is a feeling that is cultivated day by day. True love never dies. Love is a gift to be appreciated. Love makes us feel alive. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. Ready to boss your finances? Check out the link below. Love is a refuge in difficult times. Love inspires us to be better versions of ourselves. Love is a constant commitment. To love is to share dreams and life projects. Love is a treasure that must be taken care of. Love teaches us the true meaning of happiness. Love is a universal language. Love connects us with others. Love is a feeling that evolves over time. Love makes us feel complete. Love is the foundation of a family. Love is a gift that is given and received. Love is a force that drives us forward. Love is a feeling that makes us feel safe. Love is a journey that is enjoyed in company. Love is a feeling that can be learned to express. Love is a treasure found in the small details. Love is a feeling that makes us feel special. Love is a feeling that makes us feel valued. Love is a feeling that makes us feel loved. Love is a feeling that makes us feel understood. Love is a feeling that makes us feel supported. Love is a feeling that makes us feel happy. Love is a feeling that makes us feel alive. Love is a feeling that makes us feel complete. Love is a feeling that makes us feel fulfilled. Love is a feeling that makes us feel at peace. Love is the most beautiful feeling that exists. Heartbreak is a reminder that love doesn't always last forever. Healing heartbreak takes time, patience, and self-compassion. Heartbreak can be the beginning of a new stage in your life. Through heartbreak, we learn more about ourselves. Heartbreak hurts, but it also makes us stronger. No failed relationship is in vain. There is always a lesson to be learned. Heartbreak teaches you that self-love is paramount. Accepting heartbreak is the first step to getting over it. Heartbreak reminds us that we are human and vulnerable. Every heartbreak is an opportunity to grow and evolve. Heartbreak can open the door to new experiences and people. Heartbreak teaches you to appreciate the good moments in a relationship. There is no love without the risk of heartbreak. Heartbreak is proof that you loved intensely. Overcoming heartbreak makes you stronger and more resilient. Heartbreak can be a call to reconnect with yourself. Heartbreak shows you that you can't control everything in life. Heartbreak hurts, but it can also be liberating. Heartbreak teaches you to let go of what is not for you. In heartbreak, we discover our ability to heal. Corruption is a monster. Justice is the hero that defeats it. Justice is the law that we all must respect. Corruption is a disease. Justice cures it. Justice is the light that dispels the darkness of corruption. Corruption is a dead end. Justice is the door to redemption. Justice is the compass that guides men towards good. Corruption is a poison that poisons the soul. Justice purifies it. Justice is the truth that always comes to light. Corruption is a debt that sooner or later must be paid. Justice is the balance that nature seeks to restore. Corruption is a will-o'-the-wisp that leads to the abyss. Justice is a beacon that guides to a safe harbor. Corruption is a disguise. Justice is the true face. Corruption is a contagious disease. Justice is the antidote that stops it. Corruption is a time bomb. Justice is the deactivator. Corruption is a labyrinth with no way out. Justice is Ariadne's thread that gets us out. Corruption is a shadow. Justice is the light that dispels it. Corruption is a thousand-headed monster. Justice is the sword that cuts them one by one. Corruption is a disease of the soul. Justice cures it. Corruption is a poison that poisons society. Justice is the antidote that cures it. Corruption is a cancer that spreads. Justice is the scalpel that removes it. Corruption is a plague. Justice is the insecticide that exterminates it. Corruption is a tumor. Justice is the surgery that eliminates it. Corruption is a virus. Justice is the vaccine that immunizes us. Corruption is a disease. Justice is the doctor that cures us. Corruption is a monster. Justice is the hero that defeats it. Corruption is a dead end. Justice is the door to redemption. Corruption is a lie. Justice is the truth that always prevails. Corruption is a disease of the spirit. Justice is the cure that heals it. Corruption is a poison that poisons the heart. Justice is the antidote that purifies it. Corruption is a shadow that darkens the soul. Justice is the light that illuminates it. Corruption is a cancer that devours society. Justice is the scalpel that removes it. Corruption is a plague that destroys. Justice is the seed that rebuilds. Corruption is a virus that infects. Justice is the vaccine that immunizes. Corruption is a disease. Justice is the doctor that cures us. Corruption is a monster. Justice is the hero that defeats it. Your environment is one chapter, not your whole story. Don't let where you were born determine how far you can go. Your future is written by your own actions, not by the expectations of others. The world is a blank canvas. Paint your own future. Great minds come not from great places, but from great dreams. Your environment can influence, but not define, your destiny. Your future is not written in the stars, but in your decisions. Break the chains of expectations and fly towards your dreams. Don't settle for what you have, fight for what you deserve. Your environment can be a challenge, but also an opportunity to grow. Don't let fear paralyze you, move towards your goals. Your future is as big as your dreams. Success does not depend on where you come from, but where you are going. Don't be limited by circumstances, rise above them. Your potential is infinite, don't lock it in a box. The world is full of opportunities, you just have to look for them. Don't wait for the world to change, be the change you want to see. Your environment does not determine your worth, you do. Believe in yourself and the world will believe with you. The only person who can limit your dreams is yourself. Your past does not define your future, your actions do. Don't let the opinions of others discourage you. Your future is yours to create. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day after day. The most powerful education is the one the world gives you. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yourself from yesterday. Your future begins the moment you decide to create it. Don't give up. Great achievements take time and effort. Your environment may change, but your determination must remain. Life is a journey, not a destination. Don't let circumstances dictate your life. Your future is in your hands. Don't let it slip away. The only person who can sabotage your dreams is yourself. Don't settle for mediocrity. Aim for excellence. Your future is a blank canvas. Paint your own masterpiece. Don't let fear paralyze you. Move towards your goals. Your environment can be a challenge, but also an opportunity to grow. Don't be limited by circumstances. Rise above them. Your potential is infinite. Don't lock it in a box. The world is full of opportunities. You just have to look for them. Responding to disrespect with respect shows your true character. Disrespect is a sign of insecurity and lack of self-esteem. Mutual respect is the basis of any healthy relationship. Allowing disrespect only reinforces bad behavior. Disrespect creates divisions where there could be understanding. No one deserves to be disrespected, no matter the circumstances. Responding to disrespect calmly is a sign of strength. Disrespect is a barrier to effective communication. Learning to set boundaries is key to avoiding disrespect. Disrespect never leads to a positive solution. Respect begins with yourself. If you respect yourself, you will demand respect. Disrespect is a reflection of a lack of empathy. There is no valid justification for disrespect. Disrespect can damage relationships irreparably. Ignoring disrespect doesn't make it go away. Confront the situation firmly. Respect is earned, but disrespect must be rejected immediately. Being respectful is not an option, it is a moral obligation. Disrespect may be subtle, but its impact can be profound. Practicing respect at all times elevates your personal integrity. Disrespect creates a toxic environment in any setting. Learning to identify disrespect helps you protect yourself from it. Don't confuse firmness with disrespect. It is possible to be assertive without being disrespectful. Disrespect is a symptom of a lack of emotional education. Disrespect for others often reflects deep self-disrespect. Respect is the key to building a fair and equitable society. Disrespect can be the result of poor stress or frustration management. Teaching by example is the best way to combat disrespect. Disrespect fuels conflict, while respect promotes peace. Responding to disrespect with dignity is an act of courage. Repeated disrespect is a sign that the relationship needs to be reevaluated. Do not tolerate disrespect, either towards yourself or towards others. Disrespect weakens trust, and respect strengthens it. The culture of disrespect can perpetuate itself if not challenged. Disrespect is often a manifestation of a lack of self-control. Being respectful does not mean being submissive, it means valuing the dignity of everyone. Respect must be reciprocal, it cannot be a one-way street. Disrespect can be a learned habit, but it can also be unlearned. Disrespect is not a sign of strength, but of weakness. Facing disrespect assertively can turn a negative situation around. Respect builds bridges, while disrespect destroys them. Disrespect can hurt, but you don't have to let it define you. Being respectful even in difficult situations is a sign of maturity. Disrespect is not part of growing up. Learning to respect is. Disrespect can arise from fear or ignorance. Mutual respect is the basis of cooperation and understanding. Disrespect in a relationship is a warning sign that should not be ignored. Respect for others begins with respect for oneself. Disrespect is never the right answer. Respect is always the best option. True strength is shown by maintaining respect even when it is difficult. Tolerance is respect for differences. Tolerance is the basis of peaceful coexistence. Tolerance does not mean agreeing, but accepting. Intolerance generates conflicts and divisions. Tolerance is a universal value that unites us all. Tolerance enriches us as people. Intolerance limits our vision of the world. Tolerance is an act of courage. Tolerance teaches us to listen and understand. Tolerance is essential to building a better world. Intolerance is born from fear and ignorance. Tolerance helps us overcome our prejudices. Tolerance is a path to inner peace. Intolerance generates violence. Tolerance is a gift we must offer and receive. Tolerance is a constant learning process. Tolerance allows us to live in harmony with others. Intolerance isolates us and makes us feel alone. Tolerance is a value that is passed down from generation to generation. Tolerance makes us stronger as a society. Intolerance weakens social ties. Tolerance is an antidote to discrimination. Tolerance allows us to grow as people. Intolerance limits our possibilities. Tolerance is an act of humility. Intolerance prevents us from seeing beyond our own beliefs. Tolerance is essential for democracy. Intolerance threatens freedom of expression. Tolerance allows us to celebrate diversity. Intolerance creates a climate of insecurity. Tolerance is a value that we must practice in our daily lives. Intolerance prevents us from building bridges between cultures. Tolerance is a path to mutual understanding. Intolerance generates unnecessary conflicts. Tolerance is a value that we must teach our children. Intolerance prevents us from enjoying life to the fullest. Tolerance is an act of love towards one's neighbor. Intolerance blinds us to reality. Tolerance allows us to build a better future. Intolerance condemns us to live in the past. Tolerance is a value that makes us more human. Intolerance dehumanizes us. Tolerance is an antidote to hatred. Before we go on, if you're keen on turning your finances around and securing the financial freedom you've always wanted, be sure to check out the link below. Intolerance generates a vicious circle of violence. Tolerance is a path to reconciliation. Intolerance prevents the peaceful resolution of conflicts. Tolerance is a value that we must always defend. Intolerance is a threat to world peace. Tolerance is a gift we must offer to the world. Tolerance is the only way to a better future. Intolerance is a reflection of a lack of understanding. Being tolerant does not mean agreeing, but respecting differences. Intolerance closes doors to diversity and learning. Tolerance is the basis of peaceful coexistence. Intolerance is born from fear of the unknown. Fighting intolerance requires empathy and education. Intolerance is a barrier to social progress. Tolerance is a strength that promotes harmony. Intolerance divides people and societies. Learning to accept differences is key to overcoming intolerance. Intolerance generates unnecessary conflicts. Tolerance fosters mutual respect. Intolerance limits the ability to see the world from different perspectives. Intolerance is often based on unfounded prejudices. Being tolerant involves listening to and considering other points of view. Intolerance never leads to just solutions. Tolerance is a sign of maturity and wisdom. Intolerance is the enemy of peace. Tolerance allows for personal and collective growth. Intolerance can cause unnecessary suffering. Tolerance is essential to building a more just world. Intolerance is often the result of ignorance. Tolerance opens the door to dialogue and understanding. Intolerance blinds people to the beauty of diversity. Tolerance strengthens human relationships. Intolerance is a barrier to cooperation and unity. Tolerance is a powerful tool against hatred. Intolerance is fought with education and empathy. Tolerance is an act of respect towards others. Intolerance breeds distrust and resentment. Tolerance promotes inclusion and equity. Intolerance is a trap that prevents personal growth. Tolerance is a virtue that must be cultivated daily. Intolerance has no place in a pluralistic society. Tolerance is the first step towards reconciliation. Intolerance destroys bridges, tolerance builds them. Intolerance is often inherited, but can be unlearned. Tolerance is essential for peaceful coexistence. Intolerance limits creativity and critical thinking. Tolerance is an antidote to extremism. Intolerance may be subtle, but it is always harmful. Tolerance is the key to resolving conflicts peacefully. Intolerance undermines social cohesion. Tolerance fosters respect for human rights. Intolerance is often a reflection of personal insecurities. Tolerance is a sign of strength, not weakness. Intolerance can destroy entire communities. Tolerance allows the coexistence of different cultures and beliefs. Intolerance is an obstacle to freedom and justice. Tolerance is the foundation of a truly free and equitable society. Kindness is a language that everyone understands. Kindness is the sun that lights up the gray days. Kindness is like a seed that grows and multiplies. Kindness is the best investment you can make. Kindness is contagious. Try it. Kindness makes the world a better place. Kindness begins with oneself. Kindness is priceless, but it is worth more than gold. Kindness is an act of courage. Kindness is a balm for the soul. Kindness is a bridge that unites people. Kindness is a gift you can always give. Kindness is the answer to the question, what can I do for others today? Kindness is the best way to leave your mark on the world. Kindness is an act of unconditional love. Kindness is the most powerful force in the universe. Kindness is a habit that can be cultivated. Kindness is the best revenge. Kindness is a shield against negativity. Kindness is a magnet that attracts good things. Kindness is a language that transcends cultural barriers. Kindness is a balm for the wounds of the soul. Kindness is an act of selfless service. Kindness is the key to a happy and fulfilling life. Kindness is a beacon that lights the way forward. Kindness is a treasure that is shared. Kindness is an act of faith in humanity. Kindness is the best way to make new friends. Kindness is an antidote to loneliness. Kindness is an act of rebellion against indifference. Kindness is a gift that is never forgotten. Kindness is an act of gratitude. Kindness is an act of hope. Kindness is an act of compassion. Kindness is an act of forgiveness. Kindness is an act of humility. Kindness is an act of generosity. Kindness is an act of patience. Kindness is an act of tolerance. Kindness is an act of respect. Kindness is an act of justice. Kindness is an act of fairness. Kindness is an act of freedom. Kindness is an act of truth. Kindness is an act of beauty. Kindness is an act of peace. Kindness is an act of love. Kindness is an act of life. Kindness is a legacy we leave to future generations. Malice is a distortion of the mind that seeks to cause harm. Malice often poisons the one who feels it more than the one who receives it. Acting maliciously weakens your personal integrity. Malice is the enemy of inner peace. Malice is based on hatred, and hatred is poison to the soul. Malice never leads to true happiness. Responding to malice with kindness disarms the person who practices it. Malice corrupts trust between people. Forgiveness is the best response to an act of malice. Malice creates a cycle of negativity that is difficult to break. Malice is a reflection of a lack of empathy and understanding. Sowing malice only brings more darkness into your life. Malice can destroy valuable relationships in an instant. Malice is an unnecessary burden that prevents personal growth. Acting without malice allows peace and harmony to flourish. Malice reveals the inner bitterness of the person who practices it. Malice is never a sign of strength, but of weakness. Responding to malice with malice perpetuates conflict. Malice may be subtle, but its impact can be devastating. Malice keeps you from true happiness and fulfillment. Malice destroys trust, which is the basis of any relationship. Malice is often born of envy and resentment. Malice darkens the heart and mind. Malice does not give you power, it only consumes you from within. Breaking with malice is an act of personal liberation. Malice doesn't make you stronger, just more bitter. To act without malice is an act of true nobility. Malice is never justifiable, no matter the circumstance. Malice may be contagious, but it can also be stopped. Malice does not lead to justice, but to revenge. Avoiding malice is an act of respect towards yourself and towards others. Malice is an obstacle to love and compassion. Malice can be a reflection of an unhealed wound. Practicing kindness, even when others act maliciously, is a sign of true character. Malice takes you away from the light and plunges you into darkness. Malice does not protect you, it only isolates you. Responding to malice with wisdom can transform a negative situation. Malice always leaves a mark, both on the one who gives it and on the one who receives it. Malice is never the solution to a problem. Overcoming malice requires courage and a strong heart. Malice is a silent enemy that destroys from within. Malice only breeds more malice. Kindness breaks the cycle. Malice prevents you from seeing the goodness in others. Malice is a self-imposed prison from which you can break free. Responding to malice with compassion is an act of greatness. Malice is born from insecurity and fear. Malice prevents you from enjoying the beauty of life. Be a good listener. Listen carefully to others. Be a good leader. Inspire others to achieve their goals. Be a good follower. Collaborate with others to achieve a common goal. Be a good citizen. Contribute to the well-being of your community. Be a good parent. Raise your children with love and discipline. Be a good son/daughter. Honor your parents and take care of them in their old age. Be a good friend. Be loyal, trustworthy, and understanding. Be a good lover. Love with passion and respect. Be a good professional. Develop your skills and knowledge. Be a good artist. Express your creativity in any way. Be a good athlete. Take care of your body and mind. Be a good dancer. Express your emotions through movement. Be a good cook. Enjoy the pleasures of life. Be a good gardener. Connect with nature. Be a good writer. Communicate your ideas clearly and concisely. Be a good reader. Broaden your horizons. Be a good human being. Live a full and meaningful life. Virtue is not a goal, but a path. The constant search for personal improvement is essential. True knowledge comes from experience. Theory must be complemented by practice. Modesty is the foundation of wisdom. Recognizing your limitations allows you to learn. Honesty is the best policy. Lies always come to light. Gratitude transforms adversity. Being thankful for what you have allows you to overcome challenges. Patience is the key to perseverance. Don't be discouraged by obstacles. Compassion is the bridge to human connection. Empathize with others and strengthen your relationships. Education has no limits. Keep learning throughout your life. Family is the backbone of society. Take care of your loved ones and cultivate strong relationships. Nature is our teacher. Observe and learn from the cycles of life. Inner harmony creates outer peace. Cultivate calm in your mind. Self-discipline is freedom. Master your impulses and achieve your goals. Humility allows you to grow. Accept constructive criticism and learn from it. Generosity enriches the soul. Giving without expecting anything in return makes you happier. Loyalty is the foundation of trust. Be faithful to your commitments. Integrity is an unwavering value. Be honest with yourself and with others. Wisdom is found in the little things. Appreciate the details in life. Beauty lies in simplicity. Avoid unnecessary complexity. Strength is built by facing challenges. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Hope is the fuel of the soul. Keep a positive vision of the future. Reflection allows you to grow. Take time to think about your actions and decisions. Creativity is the spark of innovation. It seeks new ways of doing things. Adaptability allows you to survive. Embrace change and evolve. Cooperation is the key to collective success. Work as a team and share your knowledge. Empathy connects you with others. Put yourself in other people's shoes and understand their feelings. Gratitude allows you to enjoy the present. Appreciate what you have right now. Humility makes you more approachable. People feel more comfortable around you. Perseverance leads you to achieve your goals. Don't give up at the first obstacle. Compassion makes you more human. Help others without expecting anything in return. Education is the most powerful tool. Open your mind to new ideas. Family is your refuge. Take care of your loved ones and they will take care of you. Nature gives you peace and tranquility. Connect with it through walks or outdoor activities. Inner harmony allows you to face any challenge. Cultivate calm in your mind. Self-discipline sets you free. Master your impulses and achieve your goals. Humility allows you to learn. Accept constructive criticism and improve. Generosity enriches your life. Giving without expecting anything in return makes you happier. Loyalty is the foundation of strong relationships. Be true to your commitments. Integrity is an unwavering value. Be honest with yourself and with others. Wisdom is found in the little things. Appreciate the details in life. Beauty lies in simplicity. Avoid unnecessary complexity. Strength is built by facing challenges. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Hope is the fuel of the soul. Keep a positive vision of the future. Reflection allows you to grow. Take time to think about your actions and decisions. Creativity is the spark of innovation. It seeks new ways of doing things. Adaptability allows you to survive. Embrace change and evolve. Cooperation is the key to collective success. Work as a team and share your knowledge. Empathy connects you with others. Put yourself in other people's shoes and understand their feelings. Gratitude allows you to enjoy the present. Appreciate what you have right now. Humility makes you more approachable. People feel more comfortable around you. Perseverance leads you to achieve your goals. Don't give up at the first obstacle. Knowledge begins in wonder. An unexamined life is not worth living. Speak so that I can know you. A friend should be like money. Before you need it, you need to know its value. An honest man is always a child. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. The only true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. I prefer knowledge to wealth. The happiest man is the one who needs the least. Virtue is the only good. He who does not know how to obey does not know how to command. The best revenge is to live well. He who gets angry with you gives you a gift. He who does not love himself cannot love anyone. Wisdom begins with recognizing our own ignorance. He who is capable of doing something is also capable of teaching. He who does not strive to improve does not deserve to improve. True wisdom lies in recognizing what is not known. The best way to learn is to teach. He who does not know how to listen does not know how to speak either. He who does not have a goal will not get anywhere. He who is satisfied with little always has a lot. Envy is a declaration of inferiority. Happiness does not depend on what we have, but on what we are. The best way to predict the future is to create it. He who does not risk does not win. He who has a why to live for can bear anyhow. Life is too short to worry about small things. True freedom is inner freedom. He who does not forgive is condemned to suffer. He who sows actions collects habits. He who sows habits collects character. He who sows character collects destiny. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. True friendship is one soul living in two bodies. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. He who does not learn from history is condemned to repeat it. The best way to get to know a person is to argue with them. Virtue is easier to preach than to practice. Justice is what suits the strongest. Happiness is not a station you reach, but a way of traveling. True wisdom lies in knowing what to ignore. He who has no dreams has no wings. Life is a journey, not a destination. He who risks nothing achieves nothing. The best way to overcome fear is to face it. He who does not love himself cannot love anyone. Happiness is a choice, not a condition. Life is too short to live it any other way than happily. The best way to change the world is by being yourself. Where love reigns, laws are superfluous. At night especially, it is beautiful to believe in the light. The best wealth is to be content living with little. Thinking is the dialogue of the soul with itself. Knowledge is the only good that multiplies when shared. Ignorance breeds more confidence than knowledge. True wisdom lies in recognizing that we do not know everything. He who falls in love with himself has no rival. Music is a moral law. Beauty is the first thing that is felt and the last thing that is understood. The man who has not educated himself is not worthy of being free. Philosophy is preparation for death. Love is the triumph of imagination over intelligence. He who does not know how to obey does not know how to command. Justice is the interest of the strongest. He who has no shame has no courage. Virtue is knowledge. Education is the training of the soul for virtue. True freedom is inner freedom. Man is a political animal. Before we go on, if you're keen on turning your finances around and securing the financial freedom you've always wanted, be sure to check out the link below. Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others that have been tried. Poetry is the imitation of imitation. Dialectics is the art of conducting a dialogue. Happiness does not consist in pleasure, but in virtue. Friendship is the inseparable companion of virtue. The body is the prison of the soul. The soul is immortal. Justice is giving each person what they deserve. True knowledge is innate. Science is the knowledge of causes. Virtue is the mean between two vices. Happiness is the ultimate goal of human life. Education must form free men. Wisdom is the knowledge of good and evil. Bravery is the mean between cowardice and recklessness. Temperance is the mean between excess and deficiency. Justice is the medium between selfishness and altruism. Wisdom is the most important virtue. Temperance is the third most important virtue. Justice is the fourth most important virtue. Philosophy is the love of wisdom. Virtue ethics highlights the importance of cultivating character. Political philosophy helps you understand and question power structures. The philosophy of mind invites you to explore the nature of consciousness. Pragmatism teaches you to value ideas for their practical usefulness. Stoicism guides you to live in harmony with nature and accept what you cannot change. Eastern philosophy, like Taoism, teaches you to flow with life rather than resist it. Hedonism reminds you that pleasure and well-being are important parts of life. The philosophy of the absurd confronts you with the irrationality of existence, encouraging you to find meaning amidst the chaos. The concept of eternal return invites you to live each moment as if it were going to repeat itself eternally. The philosophy of history helps you understand the past to illuminate the present and the future. Epistemology challenges you to question the nature and limits of knowledge. The philosophy of science teaches you to value evidence and the scientific method. The concept of distributive justice reminds you of the importance of fairness and equality. The philosophy of art invites you to explore the role of art in life and society. Philosophical reflection gives you the tools to face moral and ethical dilemmas. Philosophy teaches you that the search for truth is a journey, not a destination. Discipline is the basis of all achievement. Respect is essential, both towards oneself and towards others. Patience is key to progress. Constant training is the only way to improve. The mind and body work together. Controlling emotions is essential. Perseverance overcomes any obstacle. Fear is an opponent to be overcome. Humility is the key to growth. Knowledge is acquired through practice. Self-confidence is built day by day. Balance is essential in all aspects of life. Adaptability is essential to survival. Self-defense is more than just fighting. Inner strength is more important than physical strength. Respect for the rules is essential. The greatest victory is to overcome yourself. Collaboration is as important as competition. Gratitude towards teachers and classmates is essential. The history of martial arts is rich in wisdom. Technique without spirit is empty. Spirit without technique is dangerous. Concentration is the key to success. Breathing controls the body and mind. Flexibility is important, both physically and mentally. Observation is essential for learning. Repetition perfects technique. Creativity is important in problem solving. Humility in the face of defeat is essential for growth. Victory is not always the main objective. Physical and mental health go hand in hand. Self-discipline is the key to achieving goals. Self-confidence is contagious. Empathy allows us to understand others. Effective communication is essential in any relationship. Respect for the opponent is essential. Violence is never the solution. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. The key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. Life is not about having, it's about being. True wisdom lies in recognizing one's own ignorance. Strength comes not from what you can do, but from overcoming what you once thought you couldn't. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is using it correctly. Learn to enjoy the process as much as the result. The greatest glory in life lies not in not falling, but in getting up every time we fall. True wealth lies in love and gratitude. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. Life is too short to waste it hating someone. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. You can't control every situation, but you can control your attitude. Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. Don't worry about those who talk behind your back. They are behind you for a reason. Learn to enjoy the little things, because one day you will look back and realize that they were the big things. Don't let anyone decide your worth. Positive attitude brings positive results. Don't look for happiness outside, it's inside you. Learn to be happy with what you have while pursuing what you want. Nothing is impossible for those who don't have to do it themselves. The only difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. Don't count the days, make the days count. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Success is the ability to go from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm. Don't seek to be relevant, seek to be valuable. Learn to adapt. Change is the only constant. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You can't change your past, but you can design your future. True wealth is living on less than you earn. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Learn to accept constructive criticism without taking it as a personal attack. Life doesn't have a remote control, you have to get up and change it yourself. Don't limit yourself. Many people stay in the same routine because they don't dare to leave their comfort zone. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Life is like a camera. Focus on what is important, capture the good moments, develop the negatives, and if things don't work out, take another picture. The true measure of a man is not how he conducts himself in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he holds himself together in times of controversy and challenge. Learn to say "I'm sorry," not because you're always to blame, but because you value the relationship more than your ego. True education consists in getting the best out of oneself. Life is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the ride. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity, create it. The best way to get started is to stop talking and start doing. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you can't do. Happiness is a choice, not a result. There are no limits to what you can achieve except the limits you place on yourself. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. If you have a dream, you must protect it. Greatness is not a destination, it's a journey. Don't wait for perfect conditions to start. Starting makes perfect conditions. Life is short, live it with passion and purpose. Don't let the little things get you down. Get up and keep going. Learn to enjoy the journey instead of just focusing on the destination. Happiness does not depend on what you have, but on how you see what you have. If you can dream it, you can do it. Don't let past mistakes steal your present energy. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day after day. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Change is not only necessary for life, it is life itself. Accept the challenge so you can feel the euphoria of victory. Patience and perseverance have a magical effect in which difficulties disappear and obstacles fade away. The key to a successful life is continuous development. Darkness may hide, but light always reveals. Even if the night is long, dawn always comes. Shadows are fleeting, light is eternal. At the heart of every darkness lies a seed of light. The shadow may try to cover the sun, but it will never put it out. Light is stronger than any darkness. Darkness may confuse, but light always guides. After every storm, the sun rises. Light always finds a way through the darkness. Darkness may hide, but the truth always shines. Shadow is just the absence of light. Light is the hope that shines in the darkness. Darkness can be scary, but light fills us with courage. Light is the path, darkness is just a detour. Even if the night is long, the morning always comes. Darkness may try to extinguish the light, but it will never succeed. Light is the force that drives us forward. Darkness can be overwhelming, but light gives us clarity. Light is the love that guides us in the darkness. Darkness may try to hide beauty, but light always reveals it. Light is the truth that illuminates our path. Darkness may be cold, but light fills us with warmth. Light is the faith that sustains us in difficult times. Darkness can be lonely, but light connects us to others. Light is the force that makes us overcome any obstacle. Darkness may try to steal our joy, but light always restores it. Light is the hope that keeps us alive. The darkness may be temporary, but the light is eternal. Light is the force that transforms us. Darkness may try to sow fear, but light fills us with courage. Light is the beauty we find in every moment. Darkness may try to extinguish our spirit, but light always turns it on. Light is the love that unites us all. Darkness may try to hide the truth, but light always reveals it. Light is the force that makes us grow. Darkness can be overwhelming, but light gives us peace. Light is the hope that leads us to a better future. Darkness may try to steal our joy, but light always restores it. Light is the force that makes us overcome any obstacle. The darkness may be temporary, but the light is eternal. Self-defense is a last resort. True strength lies in calm. Patience is the key to mastering any technique. Constant practice creates positive habits. Open mind is essential for continuous learning. Perseverance is the key to overcoming challenges. Gratitude for the opportunity to learn is essential. The martial arts community is a source of support. The history of martial arts teaches us about the past and the future. Tradition and innovation go hand in hand. The pursuit of perfection is a journey, not a destination. Martial arts teach us to live in harmony with ourselves and with others. Martial arts are a path to self-realization. Patience is essential. True growth takes time. Deep roots provide stability and strength in difficult times. Adaptation is key to survival in any environment. Balance is vital. Too much water or too much sun can be harmful. Resilience is a virtue. Plants flourish even after storms. Silence is powerful. Plants grow in silence, without the need to show off. Persistence bears fruit. Plants grow slowly but steadily. Simplicity has its own beauty. Not all plants are lush, but all are beautiful. Cooperation is essential. Many plants grow better when they are together. Renewal is constant. Plants renew themselves with each new season. The environment influences your development. Plants adapt to the conditions around them. Care and attention allow those who receive it to flourish. Flexibility is important. Plants bend in the wind, but do not break. Self-care is crucial. Plants seek out what they need to grow. Perseverance helps you overcome obstacles. Plants grow in the most unexpected places. The cycle of life is inevitable. Plants are born, grow, and die, completing the natural cycle. Simplicity can be powerful. Some plants need very little to thrive. Light is essential. Plants seek light, just as we seek truth. Rest is necessary. Plants rest in winter to flower in spring. Diversity enriches. A garden with different plants is more beautiful and balanced. Change is a part of life. Plants change shape, color, and size throughout the year. Personal growth is continuous. Like plants, we never stop growing. Gratitude for basic things like water and electricity is essential to well-being. Respect for one's own space and that of others allows us to grow in harmony. Adapting to the seasons teaches that life has its own rhythms. Inner strength helps you withstand adversity. Connection to the earth gives you stability and support. Persistence in difficult times can lead you to blossom when you least expect it. Mutual care is important. Some plants protect and nourish each other. Minimalism may be enough. Some plants thrive with the bare minimum. Gratitude for light and water teaches you to value essential resources. Humility is a virtue. Plants do not need recognition to continue growing. Respect for the environment helps you integrate into it harmoniously. Silence and calm allow for deeper internal growth. Adaptability is crucial to thriving in changing environments. The cycle of renewal teaches that there is always a new opportunity to grow. The importance of self-care is obvious. Plants that take care of themselves grow stronger. Interdependence is natural. Plants and animals depend on each other. Beauty lies in diversity. Each plant has something unique to offer. Respect for the natural cycle of life teaches us to accept change. Gratitude for essentials such as water and light is fundamental to well-being. The value of small things. A small seed can become a big tree. The importance of proper nutrition. Plants need nutrients to grow strong. Respect for one's own space and that of others allows us to grow in harmony. Connection with nature is vital for emotional and physical balance. Growth is not always visible. Roots grow first before the plant appears on the surface. Resilience in the face of adversity strengthens. Plants recover after being damaged. The value of time. Plants teach us that good things take time to develop. The importance of good sustenance. Plants need fertile soil to thrive. The power of community. Plants that grow together often protect and support each other. If this video has fired you up, inspired you, or given you a fresh take on reaching your goals, be sure to check out the link below.